In this episode, you'll discover the not-so-obvious marketing path that took one entrepreneur from the simple idea to the retail space of Amazon, Walmart, and future expansion into some of the largest grocery store chains in the United States. Welcome to Mastering Local Marketing, a show that helps replace stagnant small business marketing efforts with customer and revenue-generating best practices that drive real growth. I'm your host, Matt Hansen. And in this episode, you'll discover how Emily Edwards launched a CPG brand called Paradise Spreads and how she did it. Emily, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
So Emily and I have been talking about paradise, and not paradise in terms of a beach anywhere, but Paradise Spreads. And Emily came up with this idea back in 2018. So we're in 2025 at this point. Obviously it's a little bit of a timeline there, but what is Paradise? Let's start there. What is Paradise Spreads?
So Paradise Spreads is a sweet plant-based spread that contains pea protein.
Pea protein. So where did that come from? Did you wake up one morning and go, I love pea protein, or is it something that you stumbled upon, or is it?
Yeah, I actually did stumble upon it because I started out using whey protein. That's very popular protein. And during that time, which was 2018, the pulses were trending. Plant-based proteins were trending. So I went out and, let me stop right there. Because I had worked in my former profession, I was a social worker. Mm-hmm. So I worked with a lot of children with food allergies, and so they often mimic behavioral issues. And so based off of that, I started to realize, maybe food does play a bigger part than what we realize. So I went out and I bought every plant protein on the market, and I started off with this little batch in my kitchen, and I thought, nobody's gonna buy this. It tastes like dirt. And when I tell you I know what dirt tastes like, I really do, because I grew up in a little small town called Stallo in Philadelphia, Mississippi. And as a kid, the red clay hills of Mississippi, I ate dirt. So I thought, who's gonna want this? And so that was kind of the beginning of forming Paradise.
Okay. So obviously you had an interest in it. It was the job that you had. And then you came up with this idea and you said, well, we've got this pea protein. How did you get it to taste not like dirt?
Well, that's where Purdue, the food science lab down in Lafayette, came in. I knew I needed a food scientist to start to figure out the formula, how you get rid of the graininess, the off notes. So I spent a year and a half down there in product development, really working on the formula, really trying to hone it in, get rid of the off notes, and just a wonderful experience. The first flavor was actually maple.
Oh, really? Interesting. So I know you have a few different flavors at this point, and did you go out there and do research? Did you talk to a bunch of different people, or did you just kind of go at it and say, I
had this idea that I was going to create this wonderful product, because I knew nothing about product development. So I had this wonderful idea that I would create this product and that people would love this product. They would buy it. I could sell the company, and then I could just retire somewhere in Italy and, lay on the beach or do nothing all day.
Right.
But I got a real reality check real fast. And so one of the things that I did is I created the product without understanding customer discovery. So I went backwards. I didn't go through customer discovery until probably about 2 years later. Mm-hmm. And so you got to figure out, is there a demand for it, and talking to people. So I thought, because I had such a wonderful childhood growing up, and my mom was a baker, and she always did sweets, and sweets brought people together. So knowing what I knew about kids and food allergies, and then you started to see a lot of people with gut issues, I thought I could create this product, and everybody loves sweets, so people can enjoy their sweets. Mm-hmm. And this product, they'll just love this product. But it's kind of like we're creatures of habit. Yeah. So if I am a Nutella person, if I'm a Jif peanut butter, that's what I'm going to gravitate to. And so really not having that customer discovery piece, building it on your own, that takes a lot. And so you miss a lot of pieces that probably you could be further ahead, but because you're working so diligently and you got such a passion for the product that you miss a lot of pieces.
Right. So as an entrepreneur, there are a variety of things that you have to go out there and do. It's not just there's a product and you're marketing it and people are buying it. I mean, you're running day to day. I mean, we were talking before we went on about how you're meeting with 19 different companies next week. Buyers next week.
International buyers.
International buyers. So there's all of these things that you're going through, and a lot of people out there, they have ideas. They, I'm going to build this, I'm going to build that, and we were talking how most people don't take that first step. It's one step, then another and another, and you learn as you go. And you what you're basically saying is, I had this great product, and then now I have to go find customers, right? And that's always a fun part because, again, the podcast is all about marketing. But so you develop this wonderful product, and I've had it. It's extremely tasty. You develop this product, and now you have to go find customers. And I know you're in a variety of different grocery stores and selling online, and you've got some really cool plans coming out where you're going to be in some major grocery stores, and I think you mentioned even a TikTok shop that you're going to be launching. So walk us through that. So you have this product, and then you went, okay, now I need to find customers. What was the next step? So we've taken the first step. You've developed the product. You worked with Purdue. You've developed something that doesn't taste like dirt. It's delicious at this point. Now how do I take that next step?
So there's this football player. His name is Jameson Winston, and he made a comment one time. He was in college, and he said, if we're going to do it, we're going to go big. When we do things, we do big things around here. So again, my ideas were always grandiose. I'm going to create this product, and it's going to be worldwide. You'll recognize the palm trees, and you'll know it's paradise. So that was my thought process. And so failure was never an option in my mind. I just got to keep going. No matter how many no's I got, I'd call my friends up. I would cry. I'd even call money. And I'd cry about it. Nobody wants to buy my product. Nobody will give me a chance. And so I started developing this attitude of being patiently persistent. You told me no today? Okay, I'll check back next week. You told me no next week? So I just kept going. And then I started to realize some of my social work skills could translate over into me being an entrepreneur of a CPG company. So I would post periodically on LinkedIn. I would talk about my journey. Everybody loves to hear your story. What's your story? So I would talk about the journey, and everywhere I would go, I would take the product, I would talk about it, and just really getting myself out there. And I would go to events, and I wouldn't know anybody. And growing up down south, you just learn how to really just be a people person and talk to people. And my mother used to always say, I don't meet any strangers. And so I kind of thought about a lot of those things, and I started to utilize those skills. And so my friends and family, they would buy it. I would post it online. So a lot of friends and family would order. I would send out samples. And just any event that I could think of that was CPG or dealt with food, understanding your brand, growing your brand. I went through accelerators, whatever I could do to get my name out there, to understand, to educate myself. How do you take this product to the next level?
Right. So speaking of taking it to the next level, were you making this in your own kitchen?
I was in my kitchen.
Right. So, okay. So that's where a lot of some of our listeners are probably, I'm making product at home. How do I take it to that next level? Because you're not going to make product and put it in grocery stores. And let's face it, right? It's too much. So you actually went out and found a copacker, and let's explain what a copacker is to our listeners.
Let's go back first. So I started off in a commercial kitchen in Valparaiso, Nana Claire's. So in order to take a product, to commercialize a product, you have to be in a commercial kitchen or a manufacturer. You can't do it out of your kitchen. Right. So I went out to the kitchen in 2018. I just left last year in 2024 to go to a co-man. And so I was actually manufacturing it myself. Purdue had done the testing, the shelf life testing to see what the shelf life is. They also had tested for salmonella and any allergens or anything that could have been detrimental to a consumer buying the product. So Purdue had helped me with a lot of that. And again, I was still a one-man show, so I was in the kitchen. I would make it, package it, ship it. So I ran all departments, and I probably still do to a certain extent, but I'm getting to a point now where some of it is being taken off of me. So yeah, most people start off in their kitchen, and then unless they hit big overnight, they'll typically go to a commercial kitchen. And I think there's one in Hammond too, but Nana Claire's was in Valparaiso, and that closed down last year. And then from there, you typically go to a copacker. Now, the thing is, when you go to a copacker, you do sign contracts with them, uh, and it's a whole different ball game. It's so many other moving pieces. And I've been fortunate enough to get with a co-packer that has been doing this for a while. I already knew them. And so they've kind of taken me under their wings and really working with me. So I'm learning so much about the inner workings of a co-man.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've done a little bit of research on the co-packing side, and everyone always says that's the next step to growth. And I think you're on your way and all of that. Recently, you've kind of rebranded some of your packaging. I know you were sharing some images before we came on today, but talk me through that, right? So you come out with your original packaging, your original branding, and where we are today. Walk us through that journey.
So packaging is it's like a man looking at a nice dressed woman, or a woman looking at a nicely dressed tailored man in a tailored suit. So packaging is eye-catching because we buy with our eyes. So you want it to be appealing. And so my first packaging, I think, was like 12-ounce jars because I didn't have a clue of what I was doing. I was just, whatever I would see, I was like, oh, I like those colors. I didn't understand, about the attributes on there. You call out your colors, what all these colors mean, and, when it's on the shelf, what it should look like. I didn't understand any of that. Mm-hmm. So I just went with what I knew. And so the first one, like I said, was maple. It was 12-ounce. Then I kind of felt like the little. I kind of felt like I was in this bubble because every time I would talk to someone, I would get more information, and then I would go and change this, and then you go talk to somebody. Oh no, you should have done this. So it was like almost like a roller coaster. Every time I stopped, I learned something new, and so I had to get to the point where I could just file it away in the back of my mind and say, okay, maybe I'll use that later. So I started off with a 12-ounce. Then I went to buyers and consumers described it as a body butter. What is it? It was in one of those little tubs that looked like body butter or something like that, a cream. It didn't look like a spread. Okay. So I went to that. Then the snack packs was in, because we have a snack packs, and that's a 2-ounce snack packs that contains a 1 ounce serving of the spread along with grain-free pretzels. Mm-hmm. So then I went to that container, and it had labels on the front and the back, and so that was all confusing. And then we went to a sleeve I saw a company that was doing a sleeve. Mm-hmm. So then we went to the sleeve on the snack pack. So that was easier, but then you couldn't see the product. Yeah. So, and then we went to the tub. We went again to the tub, so people thought it was a hummus. So buyers was trying to put it in the freezer section. So last year, I met this wonderful, wonderful company lady. She works for 5-4. Her name is Sarah. And I actually met her through, someone referred me to her through Elevate Ventures. So that's how I met her. And so we talked, and this particular day, I'll never forget this. It had been just such a rough day for me. And I think I had gotten so many no's, and it was just an emotional day. Had never met Sarah, had never talked to her, and we sat on the phone and talked. I cried, and she, it was just by the grace of God. She took a chance on me. She said, I want to work with you, and so she did. So we did a contract and everything. So TJ, who's the creative lead, and Christian, they sat down and they asked me questions. I answered them. We went through just the whole brand. I had to talk about things and answer questions that I had never thought about, because when it's just you're in the middle of the storm, and so you don't think about these things. So last year in December, that's when we came out with Paradise, the new brand. We changed the logo where it looks cool. It looks like you're sitting out on the beach. And so just recently we changed the jars. So now they're like 9-ounce jars. So it actually looks like a spread. So if you think about a peanut butter or a Nutella or something, they're in jars. Mm-hmm. So Paradise is now in a jar. So that puts me up there. I call with the big league. That's what I call it. And then we just recently redid the packs. And so instead of calling them Paradise Snack Packs, P-A-X, they're just now Paradise Packs, P-A-C-K-S. So I'm super, super excited about it. One of the things that I learned along the way to get in one of the major grocery stores we're coming up, consumers now want to see the product and they want a QR code on the back that takes them to the website.
Oh, okay. Interesting. So again, you're learning as doing, right? We're taking those steps, and you meet wonderful people along the way that provide new value and all of that. And I think, it's just interesting to me because I've talked with a variety of entrepreneurs that have all these great ideas, and they're scared to take those steps, right? And what you're saying is you've had great conversations and you've cried, right? And you've said that a few times. And I think that's all entrepreneurs, that's all business owners, that we've had those great days and we've had those days where we just want to literally pull our hair out and we can't do this anymore. So you've gone through all of these different things. And so, all right, so now we're in the new packaging. You've done a variety of things in marketing. I know you have a variety of social channels. You're pretty much on everything. What do you think, out of the website and all of your social profiles, what do you think works best for Paradise to drive that awareness? Because essentially what we're trying to do here is build awareness, have people looking for you. And we talk a lot about that on the podcast. Is that's the first step when you're a small business, because most people, if you have a small business, I know you're going nationally and now internationally, but even if you're on a small local level, that awareness level is so small that you have to generate it, and it's that constant information, putting it out there. So again, we were talking about website, larger brands, how they're always putting content out there on social, paid and owned. What do you think works best for you?
Authenticity. I found that when you can get me in front of a camera, get me to do a video on Instagram or TikTok or even Facebook, that people tend to respond to that more. Oh, you're the owner? You're the founder? Oh, it's nice to meet you. And I see that even when I go out in public, when I say who I am and I talk about it, and just being genuine. Just if people ask you a question, answer it. Is no easy way. And I found that works better than anything that I could do on social media, the website. All of that plays a part in it. But for now, I am the brand.
Yeah, you're the celebrity.
Yeah. So I ask questions. I don't feel like I'm ever too far ahead that I can't ask a question, or I don't go and seek help where I need to. When people, even when it's constructive criticism, that's one of the important things. I had to learn how to separate myself from what people were saying to me. I couldn't be so attached to Paradise that I couldn't take what people were saying to grow the brand. So even when people are talking to me and taking notes, I'm taking notes, I'm listening, I ask questions. I don't ever feel like any question is too stupid. I'll ask it. And, when I first started, when I would call buyers, or if I would call looking for my supplies, call suppliers, I would tell them, listen here, I grew up in Mississippi. I don't know what I'm doing. I may mispronounce the word. I may ask you a question that's crazy, but just bear with me because I really do want to learn. And I found that people were so willing to give me information that I was kind of shocked that the information they would give me. And I was just truly transparent. I don't know. And even now when I don't know something, I will ask, could you please explain that to me? Could you please explain how that works? Yeah. Like, you do marketing, and so I don't like marketing. I don't like any of that. But I'm listening to you because I want to know. I want to know. Yeah, I am the face, but I want to know what goes on the back end too. I want to understand the manufacturing process. I want to understand how the systems work, how all of this connects together.
Yeah, you have to get really deep into marketing, not just the forward-facing consumer side, but understanding the distribution channels and all of that. So where you are today, you have different stores. You're selling on on Amazon and all these other places. So if anybody that's listening out there that has a similar product, not pea protein, but a consumer product good, what is the one distribution method that you went when you got into it? Is it the grocery stores? Is it online? Like, you're talking about online, and definitely Amazon. Our store should launch in the next couple of days. We redid our store,
and so we'll have a storefront on Amazon. But if you tell them about, even buyers, if you tell them about your products, if you're on Amazon, they're going to go there and look.
Right.
And even your social media. If you're talking to a buyer, they're going to your social media to see what's going on, what's the authenticity of this product, who is this person, what are they doing. So that's what I would say. One of the things that I would really talk about is own home first. So we're talking about Midwest. So you got, our surrounding areas. And in this tri-state area, you have 12 states.
Right.
So own home. And once you own home, and the more people hear about you, it's kind of like that FOMO, fear of missing out.
Yep.
So if you tell a buyer, oh, I'm in Mariano's or I'm in Jules, then everybody else is going to call, oh, I want that product too.
Yeah.
So I would tell people, own home, get out, come out of your comfort zone. Don't be afraid. You will find that people are more willing to help you when they know that you are trying and that you want to succeed. Then they'll get behind you.
Yeah. It's funny, even with this podcast, we're seeing how you say own home. We see Indiana, Illinois, Michigan, Wisconsin, and that's where a majority of the listeners are, and it's slowly going out. So it happens in any business. One of the really exciting things Emily and I have been working on is we have Emily in my digital marketing competition. So we have about 1,000 college students that are going to be working on this brand over the next 4 months. So I'm really excited. What do you want to see out of that? I know that's a huge loaded question, but
it definitely is.
What do you want to see? I mean,
I want to see that aha moment. What can you do with Paradise that I haven't figured out? What's going to take this brand to the next level and get us to where we need to be? And that, like, you driving down the street, you see the golden arches. So when you walk in a store, you open up a magazine, you're on social media, you see that palm tree leaning to the side, that's Paradise.
All right. I love it. So last question, long-term vision. I know you mentioned an exit at some point. Is that the long-term vision? Build it up, create this amazing product, and then enjoy your paradise?
Oh, absolutely. That's the long-term vision. And so I developed a long-term vision plan at the beginning of the year. And so I would like to be able to see that through. And if it's acquired by, a bigger brand, we're in their portfolio, I'd like to stay on for the face of the brand, maybe 3 to 5 years, and then do some consulting and help other brands.
Right. Going back to one thing you said earlier, there's an opportunity to use your product with other products, right? You mentioned ice cream of all things. Do you want to mention that real quick?
Oh, yeah. So Paradise, the spread is really versatile. You can use it in so many different ways. It heats up, goes back to its normal state, does not require any refrigeration, has an 18-month shelf life. You can put it between 2 cookies. So I thought about a sandwich cookie, ice cream. You can make you a sundae with it. You can freeze it in between an ice cream cookie sandwich. It's so many things that you can do with this product. You can bake it. You can stuff it inside of a muffin, infuse it, and bake it in the oven. And it just kind of comes out and it's still in its normal state. So one of the other neat things about pea protein, too, is that it releases peptides in the stomach to help you feel full longer. And it has a complete amino acid profile. It's the closest protein to whey protein than any other plant protein on the market.
Love it. So where can people find you?
www.spreadparadise.com. We're on all the social media channels. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then you can find us on our website.
Sounds good. Well, thanks for coming in today. A great conversation. Anyone out there that is looking to start a food business, it's a path, but it's a path that you can get through. So just take that first step, that second step, and take each challenge as they go. But thanks again for coming in today, and thanks for listening.
Thank you for having me.